Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. Raptor 1 had about 180 to 185 tons of thrust, and Raptor 2 now has 230 tons of force. We might be able to get that up to 250 tons of force over time. It's 230 tons at 300 bar right now. Wow! A normal working pressure of 300 bar is really high for a rocket engine. This is by far the best. Today, we're going to explore some interesting made-up situations in the cutting-edge world of technology. Before we talk about the newest improvements to SpaceX's Raptor engines, we'll look at how these technical marvels have changed over time to become the powerful machines they are today. Then, we'll use our imaginations with a thought exercise about Tesla and how innovation can lead to endless options. Stay with us as we talk about these interesting topics, and please leave your thoughts and questions in the comments. Are you ready to begin? Please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Tesla Stock News before we start. Let's start right away. To win at AI games, you need to have the biggest and most powerful computers and not be afraid to spend a lot of money on them. It says a lot that Tesla is building a cluster of supercomputers just for teaching AI. These words mean that if you want to play big, you need computers that do more than just add up numbers. Elon Musk isn't afraid to make big claims. He said it was important to have the best teaching tools in AI in order to win. We should all pay attention if Musk thinks it's that important. We'll now talk about what it takes to make a great AI system. It's kind of like putting together a high-performance toolkit. Anyone can't do it with just any computer. You need one that's very powerful and quick, like a top-of-the-line sports car for computers. You need more than just power, though. You also need the right info. Data is like fuel for your AI. Even the fastest machine won't help you much without it. Once your AI starts to learn, how do you make it smarter? Like teaching a dog new tricks, you need to be patient and know how to do it right. This is because AI needs a lot of data to work on, and you have to change and improve it as it learns from the data. Now is the time when Tesla really shines. They can get a huge amount of real-world info from all of their cars they're driving around the world. Think of every Tesla car as a little scientist that is collecting data all the time it's on the road. The data here isn't just any data. It comes from real streets, real weather, and real traffic. That's like drilling for AI on the pitch where it will play the big game. Because their AI is learning from real life and not just models, this gives Tesla a huge edge. It's almost like their AI has been trained in the same arena where it will fight, which makes it better prepared and more skilled than others. This is a big deal and a real-world benefit for making AI that really knows our world and can find its way around it easily. Also, businesses aren't just sitting back. They've been taking Twitter data and using it right away to stay ahead. Think about how every tweet you send could help a big company learn new things. Elon Musk isn't just interested in changing the way people get around with cars or finding new ways to get to space with rockets. He imagines a future that looks like it came straight out of a science fiction book, with hundreds of millions or even billions of Optimus robots living in our world. Musk thinks that these robots will be a huge chance to change the world. He's not just talking about big ideas, he's actually talking about putting between 500 million and over a billion robots to work. Think about a world where robots are as common as cell phones. It's not just a lot of robots. It's a big change in the way we live and work. Here's where things get really interesting, though. It's not just how many robots are present. The Tesla Optimus robots aren't just meant to do chores. They're also meant to be data collection powerhouses. Just imagine that every computer, every day, in every part of the world, is collecting data from the things it sees and does in the real world. It's not just about getting technical help. It's also about collecting an enormous amount of data. There is a huge amount of promise here. As the Optimus robots move through our neighborhoods, they would gather more specific and varied information than all the Tesla cars on the road put together. Take a moment to think about what that means. This information could change the way we think about how people interact, how the world changes, and even how cities work. These lifelike robots could collect a huge amount of data, much more than we can currently get. This isn't just a step forward in robotics. It's a giant leap towards a future where humans and robots work together in a way that is hard to imagine now. An important part of what makes us human is being able to use our hands to grab and move things. Our hands are really cool. We have big hands, and most of the muscles that move them are in our forearms. It's like having tools right in our arms, so that robot hands can do the same things our hands can do. Developers need to get very smart. They are changing the lengths of robot fingers and putting actuators in their wrists to make them more dexterous and useful like people. Our hands are very complicated and necessary for many things. Now think about how hard it would be to make a robot hand that can do what human hands do. That's a huge problem for engineers. The team's most recent robot arm can move in 22 different ways. That could make you wonder what it means. When it comes to robotics, degrees of freedom are the different ways that a robot part can move. This robot arm has 22 degrees of freedom, which means it can move in 22 different ways. That's almost as many ways as a human arm can move. Actuators, which work like muscles, and sensors, which work like nerves, control every move of the robotic arm. These custom-made motors and sensors work together to make the robotic arm very close to human-like in how it moves and handles things. It's easy for it to pick up a fragile glass or turn a tight knob. This isn't just smart design, it's a real engineering feat that shows how far robots has come in making machines that can do things that humans can do. Now, let's look at how SpaceX's Starship Raptor engine has changed over time. It would be like watching a tech makeover show where the projects are rocket engines instead of homes or grounds. Version 1 was a necessary first step, even though it was a bit complicated and disorganized. Think of it as the rough sketch of a great book. It worked, which showed that the main idea was sound, but it was clear that it could be better. After that came version 2, which was a big step forward. SpaceX engineers didn't just change a few things. They completely redesigned the engine to make it work better and look better. Not only did the changes look better, they also made the engine more effective and efficient by fixing problems that were present in the first version. It looked like they found their groove and were able to improve their work, making it more useful and nice to look at. They made it even better in version 3. It wasn't just an improvement, it was a whole new idea for what a rocket engine could be. Version 3 of the Raptor engine is a work of technical genius. It is sleek, simple, and streamlined. Each part is not only optimized for speed, but also for how easy it is to make and keep up. This is the pinnacle of aerospace engineering. Now, let's talk about what's at stake for someone like Elon Musk. The choices he makes as CEO of companies like Tesla and SpaceX are not only high stakes, they're also astronomical. Each decision can have a huge effect on the future of space exploration and car technology, as well as on the bottom lines of companies. Think about being in a situation where approving a new engine design or a change to a project could either save or cost hundreds of millions of dollars. This is Musk's daily life, or his big-picture leadership meets the day-to-day tasks of making tech and money decisions. It's not just the money or the tech. His mood is also important. Musk is honest about how being sad could affect his choices, which is why he tries to keep things in balance, has fun, and stays interested. It seems like he knows that being happy is good for business as well as himself. Musk is all in, and he means it with all of his heart. Okay, everyone. That's the end of our trip for today. We started by going into great detail about how SpaceX's Raptor engines have changed over time, looking at how they went from being very complicated to being beautiful works of engineering. Then we played What If with Tesla, using our minds to think about what the future of innovation might hold. Last but not least, we talked about the real-world benefits of sports screens and how it's making people more energetic and productive. Do you have any ideas about where technology could go next? Please click the like button if you liked the video and follow to Tesla Stock News to get more news and talks like this. Glad you watched, and see you in the next movie.